White men have shaped all that's noble, beautiful, and excellent in history. The greatest inventors were white men. Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, Wilbur Wright, Henry Ford, Johannes Gutenberg, Nikola Tesla, Charles Babbage, Steve Wozniak, Tim Berners-Lee, Eli Whitney, Guglielmo Marconi, Carl Benz, John Logie Baird, Elon Musk, James Dyson, Herman Hollerith, Auguste and Louis Lumière. The greatest artists were white men. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo Buonarroti, J.M.W. Turner, Raphael Sanzio, Antonio da Correggio, Albrecht Dürer, Benvenuto Cellini, El Greco, Pieter Bruegel the Elder, Caravaggio, Pieter Paul Rubens, Diego Velázquez, Rembrandt van Rijn, Johannes Vermeer, Gian Lorenzo Bernini, Francisco Goya, Edouard Manet, Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Paul Cézanne, Gustav Klimt, Vincent van Gogh. The greatest philosophers were white men. Plato, Aristotle, Marcus Aurelius, Saint Anselm, Scotus, Thomas Aquinas, Francis Bacon, John Locke, David Hume, René Descartes, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, Immanuel Kant, Arthur Schopenhauer, Friedrich Nietzsche, Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, Martin Heidegger, Bertrand Russell, William James, Rudolf Carnap. The greatest writers were white men. William Shakespeare, Sophocles, Euripides, Pedro Calderón de la Barca, Molière, Henrik Ibsen, Lope de Vega, Joseph Conrad, D.H. Lawrence, Charles Dickens, James Joyce, Miguel de Cervantes, Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, Gustave Flaubert, Anton Chekhov, Edgar Allan Poe, Ivan Turgenev, Leo Tolstoy, Alexander Pushkin, Nikolai Gogol, Vladimir Nabokov, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Dante Alighieri, Herman Melville, Jonathan Swift, Jules Verne, Thomas Mann, Mark Twain. The greatest architects were white men. Filippo Brunelleschi, Leon Battista Alberti, Charles Follen McKim, Andrea Palladio, Carlo Maderno, Inigo Jones, François Mansart, Francesco Borromini, Louis Leval, Sir Christopher Wren, Jules Ardouin Mansard, Bartolomeo Rastrelli, Frank Lloyd Wright, Louis Sullivan, Daniel Burnham, Raymond Hood, Cass Gilbert, William Van Allen, Renzo Piano, Adrian D. Smith, William LeBaron Jenney, Le Corbusier, Philibert Delorme, André Le Nôtre. The greatest explorers were white men. Pythias of Massalia, Leif Erikson, Marco Polo, Bartolomeu Diaz, Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, John Cabot, Amerigo Vespucci, Vasco Núñez de Balboa, Ferdinand Magellan, Jacques Cartier, Samuel de Champlain, James Cook, Henry Morton Stanley, Robert Peary, Robert Falcon Scott, Ernest Shackleton, Roald Amundsen. The greatest scientists were white men. Physicists: Michael Faraday, Sadie Carnot, James Joule, Lord Kelvin, Hermann von Helmholtz, James Clerk Maxwell, Ludwig Boltzmann, Augustin Jean Fresnel, Albert A. Michelson, Rudolf Clausius, Georg Ohm, J.J. Thomson, Ernest Rutherford, James Chadwick, Henri Becquerel, Max Planck, Louis de Broglie, Erwin Schrödinger, Werner Heisenberg, Paul Dirac, Enrico Fermi. Biologists: Andreas Vesalius, William Harvey, Francesco Redi, Antony van Leeuwenhoek, Robert Hooke, Carl Linnaeus, Gregor Mendel, August Weismann, Charles Darwin, Louis Pasteur, Alfred Russel Wallace, Thomas Hunt Morgan, James Watson, Francis Crick. Chemists: Robert Boyle, Antoine Lavoisier, Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner, John Dalton, John Newlands, Lothar Meyer, Dmitri Mendeleev, Svante Arrhenius, William Henry Bragg, Linus Pauling, Gilbert N. Lewis, Maurice Wilkins. The greatest mathematicians were white men. Archimedes, Euclid, Apollonius, Fibonacci, Cardano, François Viette, Isaac Newton, Pierre de Fermat, Daniel Bernoulli, Leonhard Euler, Pierre-Simon Laplace, Joseph Fourier, Carl Friedrich Gauss, Nikolai Lobachevsky, Janusz Bolyai, William Rowan Hamilton, Évariste Galois, George Boole, Karl Weierstrass, Bernhard Riemann, Georg Cantor, Felix Klein, Henri Poincaré, David Hilbert, Hermann Weyl, Stefan Banach, Alan Turing, Claude Shannon, Andrei Nikolaevich Kolmogorov. Let us end the era of relativism and revisionism. Civilization stands as a monument to the unrivaled greatness of white man. By embracing this truth, we shall ignite a new age of triumph.